I'm going to defend you through and through. I hope you make it to the end. But I'm not going to lie to you. If you killed Akira, I might not play Chapter 2 when it releases. Friends. She said it like the blind optimism isn't what the killer most likely exploited. After all, how can you suspect anyone if you trust everyone? Is an environment perfect for deceit, an environment perfect for murder, and worst of all, an environment we've created. Investigation. Okay, first things first, let me do what I did last time and look back over the tablet first. Or let me do what I did last time and save the game. Who do you think is the blackened? Right now I'm looking at Winona. He was discovered in the boiler room on the underground. He is kneeling in the water and his upper body is slumped on the concrete platform. Here's the reason why. Now, I don't know if the devs thought about it that far, but like, let's assume that they really thought about like this in depth. The footsteps that were heard running from the boiler room were very light, and so it couldn't have been someone with very heavy footing. So it has to be someone who's light. So that does technically mean that, yeah, Toshiko could have been the culprit. But I can also see Winona. And I'm banking on Winona right now. It still pissed me off seeing everything except the cause of death listed. Especially when I knew the reason why. The cause of death when we... Yeah. Tozu's definitely compensating for the killer. Probably because they failed to hide their own tracks. And withdrawing information might be his way of balancing the odds. Bullshit rules. Who's to say they won't be abused? Regardless, Akira's cause of death should be treated as the crux of this mystery. If I can figure out how he died, then everything else should fall into place. Yeah, honestly, like, kind of circling back, I really thought Grace was going to be the one to die. Because she basically, like, I know Akira got a lot of screen time, but so did she. Maybe not like as much as Akira, but even still. So we got a taser here, so he was probably electrocuted. For sure. There's a cord in the water. Judging by the length, I think it's an extension cord. But what the hell happened to the other end of it? There was no internal plug, just a frayed up tip lined with a black substance. So they cut the cord. Had the cord been burnt? I didn't see this cord in the boiler room earlier, so it probably came from someplace else. One of the storage rooms, maybe. It wasn't always in this condition, that's for sure. All the items we've been provided so far, light bulbs, speakers, fridge, they've been working perfectly well. So what happened to this cord? And why was it even in the water? Yeah, he got electrocuted for sure. There's no way he didn't. And that's probably why the power went out, because whenever the electricity hit the water, that probably shorted out the generator. Shrapnel? Chunks of something red were floating nearby the generator. It almost looked like metal or maybe plastic. Were these originally part of the generator? The colors and material don't seem to match though. Interesting. Taser gun. Pretty random thing to be lying around a crime scene. It definitely wasn't in the boiler room prior to the murder either. Did that mean this taser gun was involved in the murder? On closer inspection, nothing about the gun looked particularly strange. Had it even been used? I'm pretty sure the taser's gun dispense was some kind of wire when fired. Nearby were some yellow pieces of plastic on the floor. They were the same shade of yellow on the taser. Had these originally been attached to it? I can't tell where they would fit on the gun though. Never mind. What's the point of making guesses when I could just get him to confirm? After all, someone who's a pro at wielding guns should know them better than anyone else. Alright. I'll talk to him in a second. Let's take a look at the blood. I like to investigate the body last. There was blood speckled across the floor. I didn't notice it at first due to the room's restricting lighting. But now, after my eyes had time to adjust, it couldn't be more obvious. Looks like it passes into the hallway too. I'd completely missed these during the blackout. Speaking of, after the body discovery announcement, everyone barged into the boiler room through this door. Yet, these blood spots don't look smudged. I'm guessing they were already dry by the time any of us got here, in which case, blood doesn't dry that fast, I don't think. Could this be Akira's blood? Perchance, perhaps. Could be, possibly. You never know. Is there anything else? There's a knife. Why the knife was here and not actually on the platform? I had no idea. And now we investigate the body. First, before I go near his body. But I did! What am I missing? I did the shrapnel, I did the blood, I did the body, I did the knife. Do I gotta talk to everyone first? Alright, well no, you're still here? Is there a problem with that? Why does she need to frame everything I say in the worst light? I'm preparing to hold a one-on-one session with Ulysses. I was consulting him about something important before we were interrupted by the announcement. Is that what you were doing before the blackout? Repeat that? It's the blackout. Were you still with Ulysses when it happened? You're not speaking any sense. There was no power outage. She can't be serious. The blackout affected the entire building. Anyways, let me rephrase. Where were you when it happened? Where were you? At Cassidy's game tournament in the dining hall. Really? Not what I expected. Ulysses and I spent the morning by the large tree. We stayed there up to and including the time of Akiri's murder. Sounded like she had an alibi then. As for the location she mentioned, I assumed this entire building complex connected to the one generator, but it made more sense for that tree area to have its own separate system. Hence, why I didn't lose power. What about the courtyard, though? Was anyone there at the time of the blackout? Interesting. Ulysses, you got some explaining to do. Does your alibi line up?
Terrible.
The generator over there is partially submerged in the water. I think we would be wise to stay on this platform. Was he worried about the water being electrified? Even I managed to stand in it way back when. I don't see why now would be any different. Then again, the generator wasn't damaged last time.
Damn.
Yeah, since Akira is kneeling in the water, we should avoid touching him. You don't know for sure if the water's unsafe.
Listen to me.
Before you start making conclusions, you should experiment first. Saying that, Eva walked over to a pile of boxes and pulled out a light bulb. Oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, you're gonna throw it in the water. I got you. I peep game.
Look.
See? It's not lighting up. That means the water is safe.
Well,
I see. Then I suppose it's safe to inspect the body. I'm going to? I think I will observe from afar. Now isn't the time to be listening to your nerves. Ah, but you see... John, what is your alibi? Oh wait, no, John was in the game room. Take a whiff of the air. There's something off about it. I followed his instructions to Smith. It smelled like burnt rubber. Because of the busted generator, yeah? But that's not what I'm talking about. There's another scent. A real bitter one. You might actually be onto something. It's almost like cereal and rubbing alcohol. Indeed. I'm suspecting a mighty chemical reaction at work. I've had my fair share of travels across the sea, and I'm no stranger to foul play. There's no stench worse than the one of a disastrous combustion. Thing is, I got no idea where it's coming from. Really? The smell is supposedly that of a chemical reaction. Where else could it be coming from besides the busted generator? Unless John's conclusion about the smell is wrong. I wouldn't put it past him. Y'all eating Mooney Fruities? I guess I have to talk with Eva even... I'm just gonna do it just in case. Aren't you going to investigate? Me?
Yeah.
Who else? Back when we mistook that dummy for a body, you poked it pretty nonchalantly. That's different. I never thought it was real. Now that we were finally advancing in the investigation, her cool composure had all but vanished. Typical, I guess. She can only keep up an act for so long. Alright. Oh my god. Maybe I didn't click the generator. I don't think I did. Half of the generator's internals had melted away, and what still remained was almost completely signed. Well, yeah, this was definitely the cause of the power outage. What could have melted the wires, though? It looked like a bomb had gone off in there. Now that I think about it, during the game tournament... Taking a deep breath, I steadied the grip on the controller and pushed both joysticks as hard as I could. Boom. All of a sudden, the world around me turned pitch black. There had been a loud boom right before the blackout happened, similar to a firework going off, or someone firing a gun. Did I overhear the sound of the generator being destroyed? Nothing else near the dining hall could have made that kind of noise, I don't think. My assumption is correct. The generator would have been destroyed around the same time the murder was committed. That's suspicious as hell. There's no way the two events are connected. But I'm also working purely off memory of the boom. To be absolutely sure, I need to know when exactly the blackout occurred. Was there any way for me to find that out? Can I look at it now? Oh my god. Well, Ulysses moved, so maybe I talked to him again.
Hi.
Why'd you move? I feel like it's highly important we investigate anything and everything we can. That is why I moved here, to investigate. I feel like he didn't want to be near Akire's body. Yeah, it's not him, for sure. It's not him. If he's freaking out over a dead body like this, though he could pull off a very tough act, he's not yawning. He hasn't yawned yet, and he's a sleepy guy. Have come from the generator or the pipes above us. Ingrid could have been carrying it for all we know. This guy, there's so much here he could actually document, and instead he's focusing on some flimsy piece of metal. All the more reason to rely on myself. That's a hairpin. The only reason you would have a hairpin is if you have long hair. So if you have long hair... okay. Lock it in. Keep it in mind. That dude got electrocuted, bro. Just yesterday, Akira was talking to us, eating breakfast, and now he's dead. Who had the resolve to commit such a needlessly brutal murder? To go so far as to mangle his body? I couldn't unpack it. I didn't know how to. This wasn't just some dummy I had to investigate. This was a real person. It was so far out of my expertise, let alone my comfort zone. Do you want to inspect them? Damn. Holy crap, did she really have to scare me like that? Yeah, I do. It's just the idea of getting close to him. I'll investigate with you. It'll be easier for both of us that way.
Right.
Right. And I push the button. Can the music come back on, please? I don't like the silence. It hurts me. It hurts a lot. Wolfgang lay completely still, his face frozen in a look of horror. His once bright eyes were shrouded in darkness, and his mouth was open as if he'd been killed mid-scream. Jesus. Eva's expression said it all. Akira did everything in his power to make us outcasts and make the worst of us. At times, I even hated him for it. But this brought no relief to either of us. Akira, what happened in his final moments that left him so terrified? Was it the realization he was about to die? Mulling over the what-ifs won't bring me any closer to solving Wolfgang's murder. Right now, my focus should be to find evidence. And that begins by investigating his body. Now that I think about it, the place where Akira laid was odd. What were the chances he would end up here, between the only opening of the fence? The one spot where he could kneel over like this. Was it possible he'd been trying to climb onto the platform before he died? It's strange why he didn't use the stairs though. And even stranger that he was even in the water. On the blades, or I could make up the color of blood. There's no doubt about it having something to do with the murder. Why the knife was here is not exactly on the platform. I have no idea. Oh, blazer. I didn't even realize there were different parts of his body I could look at. Wolfgang's suit was completely crumpled, a far cry from his once clean appearance. Water had seeped into his pants, completely ruining the fabric. As I leaned in close, I spotted a folded piece of paper sticking out from his back pocket. Though it was soaked, it wasn't completely destroyed. I really don't want to touch him, but with my thumb and index finger, I snatched the paper out of his pocket, taking care not to brush my hand against his body. I gingerly folded open the paper, aware that some of the wetter spots could fall apart immediately. I found a message written inside. That's some very ugly handwriting. Do you recognize it? A lot of the text is unreadable. Whoever wrote this probably used a low-quality pen, although at the bottom of the page, fragments of a message were still visible. Can I see it? Please. Secret. 8:15 a.m. Boiler room. Close the door. Doesn't this read a lot like a command? It seems like someone wanted to arrange a private meeting with him before. Okay, people who are direct. But that says 8:15, and he died at 9:25. Or 35. So he wasn't dead. Interesting. Okay. I mean,
I see.
Could that someone be the culprit? 8:15? That's a long time before the time of death, though. Maybe there was a struggle, or maybe Wolfgang arrived
There must be
late.
something.
Either way, this message is definitely a valuable clue. It's our only insight into Akire's movements before his death. I think the guy with the bow and arrows could be... No, it can't be Desmond, bro. It can't be Desmond. Desmond would never. Desmond is too harmless. He wouldn't hurt a soul. I woke up at 8:30 this morning, so I was asleep when this meeting was scheduled to happen. It's only 35 minutes before the tournament. Cassidy, Jet, Mark, and I would have already been in the dining hall. Right, setting up the equipment. As for the other students, directly asking them where they were at 8:15 might be risky. Because they would wonder where we got the time from. Tired, exactly. And I'd prefer to keep this note between the two of us. At least for now. Hear me out. There's a little bit of cursive. That's not cursive. He's innocent. Yo, hold on. Hold on. Let's take a look at this again. You see the cursive? Oh no, but she does like really pretty cursive, right? So it can't be her. Can't be. Can't be Mark. Damn. Oh, and they said the handwriting's bad. Desmond, no. My bets are still on Winona. Anyway, this thing about a secret, what do you think of that? Well, I'm not really sure. It could be referring to anything. Anything, huh? You know what it means.
I know.
I have an idea. The author of this letter might be talking about Akire's blackmail. Huh? If they claim to have it, they could have baited him here without much issue. After all, Akira asked us to meet with the person whose blackmail we had.
Strange.
A derelict boiler room is a pretty ominous place to meet someone, though. It would have been Akira's first time here, too, assuming he didn't explore this floor beforehand.
What could it be?
Either he didn't see the super obvious danger in meeting here alone, or he did realize and he just didn't care. Right. Does that change anything about what I said? Well, duh. If Akira knew the warning signs, his reason for coming might have less to do with integrity and more to do with desperation.
Huh?
To know the details of his blackmail, it would stand to reason. If only Akira had hidden this note somewhere safe instead of bringing it here, it would have been valuable evidence. Interesting. Now let's look at his face. There didn't seem to be any strange markings on Akira's face. However, along the back of his neck was a massive bruise. Damn! They hurt him! They didn't have to do him like that! This might sound morbid, but what if it's a sign of his body decomposing? I don't think his body... No, that's too soon. It probably depends on the environment.
Correct.
Right. The places are generally better at preserving things than warm. Humid areas, like this boiler room.
Thinking.
Kind of like dairy products. That's a good comparison. Akira didn't have this bruise yesterday, at the very least. If he did, it would have been super noticeable.
Fair.
True. Turning my attention back to Akira, I caught something else on his body. Near the mark on his neck, but not directly overlapping it. A red dot. Is that a beauty mark? Doesn't look like it. The skin around the dot seems to be inflamed. It reminds me of a popped pimple. The sort of wound you could easily inflict on yourself. Then you don't think this is related to the murder? It might not be, but judging by the lack of scrabbing, this was inflicted pretty recently, so we may as well keep it in mind. His hand. With the way Akira was slumped over the platform, it almost looked like he'd fallen on top of it. Let me see if his palms are scratched. As I knelt down to take a closer look, trickling from under the cuff of his sleeve onto the rest of his hand, a strange injury that looked a lot like a tree sapling. Is this a burn mark? When I looked at his other hand, I saw the same thing. Yeah, he got electrocuted. Markings that seemed to extend down the arm. Even look at this. Let me see. Yeah, burn marks. That's really horrible. They look like gross little veins. What inflicted them? There's a taser a little ways off from here where we're standing, but I couldn't find anything to indicate it's been fired. So the only thing I can think of is the generator.
Is that really true?
Why the generator?
know.
The thing had clearly been destroyed by something. Maybe Wolfgang got caught in that something, and that's how
Not
he
sure.
died. The generator seems too far away from where Akira is lying to cause
Look at
burns like
this.
these. Plus, the room's water isn't conductive, so electricity couldn't have traveled through it.
Right.
Right. Anything able to melt the generator's wires would have burnt his suit to a crisp too. That dot on his neck, he could have been drugged. That also could have been it.
Thinking.
He received burns outside the boiler room. There's just nothing here that could have leave burn markings. As for the actual place he got burned, guess we'll have to try and find it. That is, if such a place exists. While it's possible the generator may have not been involved in the murder, it seemed unlikely that Wolfgang made it a detour for the boiler room after being severely burned. After all, burns like this would definitely paralyze someone. True. As for Wolfgang's palms, they didn't have any markings on them. Still, he must have fallen somehow. Why else would he be lying on the platform? That seemed to be everything I could gather.
Hello.
Hey Damon, since we've inspected the boiler room, we should find the students who left and ask them for their
Right.
testimonies. They went upstairs to investigate Akira's room, right? Yes, because of what I said earlier. The victim's last known whereabouts are the best places to search for clues.
Okay.
Alright, let's see what they've been up to. Apart from collecting testimonies, there were two other matters on my mind. One, getting Desmond to inspect the taser gun. And two, pinpointing exactly when the blackout occurred in case it happened at the time of the murder. I walked over to the boiler room door, which had been left slightly ajar. But as I began to pull it the rest of the way open, I noticed it. The doorknob. Something about it looked different. Hey, Eva? The doorknob. I think it's been flipped. Flipped? Are you sure? Take a look for yourself. The first time we woke up here, I'm pretty sure this lock was on the inside, not the outside.
Is that really true?
How would someone be able to flip a doorknob?
That's...
By unscrewing it, probably. Okay. Why didn't you say something earlier? What do you mean? This is the first time I noticed
Is that
it.
really true?
You didn't notice it back when you entered the boiler room with Kai? No, not even then. It might have been because of the darkness or my own nerves. But back then I wasn't paying attention to small details like the doorknob. All I wanted to do was enter the boiler room.
Anyways.
I know that makes me sound
Listen
stupid.
to me.
It's alright. I mean, I probably would have noticed the doorknob had I been there, but that's besides the point. Alright. Anyway, this discovery paints an interesting picture. Since the lock was now accessible from the hallway, you could technically lock the boiler room shut without ever stepping foot in it. Meaning that if you wanted to lock someone inside the boiler room, all you have to do is lure them in and close the door behind them. Interesting.
Moving on.
Come on, we need to collect people's testimonies before the investigation ends. Let's go. As a million questions rotted away in my mind, I followed Eva out the boiler room. Actually, Eva, before we go upstairs, it's probably worth checking out the storage closets first.
I
Why?
know.
I found something in the boiler room that might be related to them. Judging by the length, I think it's an extension cord. But what the hell happened to the other end of it? There was no internal plug, just a frayed tip lined with a black substance. Had the internal end been severed off and the cord burnt after? I didn't see this cord in the boiler room earlier, so it probably came from someplace else. One of the storage rooms, maybe. That extension cord, we should confirm if it did indeed come from a storage closet.
However,
But first, I want to talk to
Come
Cassidy.
again.
Talk to her? Yes, I want to talk to her. Is that bad? She wasn't much help last investigation. Well, any help is better than no
Fair.
help. Fair. Alright, I'll talk to Cassidy first and then I'll investigate the storage closets on this floor. No. Oh, hey guys. Sorry for not noticing you sooner. I was performing a super sweep down of here hallway. Of this here hallway. That's a lot of words for wandering around aimlessly.
listen to me.
Can you put your sweep down on hold? I have a really important question. Let's hear it. Just don't drag it on too long, okay? Gotta finish my sweep down before
You
time's up.
see,
Do you remember who attended the tournament? Everyone who was slated to join kept their word, so we had a full house. There was 8 people in total. Jet, Mark, Grace, John, Kai, and the 3 of us.
Huh?
Well, since the murder happened in the
Well-
boiler room, wouldn't that mean everyone in the dining hall has an alibi?
Ooh.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. She's totally right. Also, since we split into pairs while investigating those rooms down the hall, every pairing can vouch for
Right.
each other. Right, we all split up. What were the groups again? Jet and I explored Closet B.
Check
Closet
it
B?
out.
That's what I called it on the map. Or that's what it's called on the map. Does she mean the map of the Tozy trinket? I activated my trinket and sure enough, Closet B. There are also Closet A, C, and D. Those are definitely the rooms we explored.
I see.
In that case, Kai and I must have explored storage closet C. I remember it clearly. The two of us checked the closet above and opposite, the one Cassidy searched. According to this map, the only closet to fit those parameters is closet C.
Correct.
Grace and I investigated the closet directly next to Damon's, so we must have been inside A,
Yeah.
which leaves Mark and John with D. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, Damo, since you're here,
Question.
what's the deal with you in the boiler room? Huh? When Kai told us party peeps about Akira, he said you two went inside the boiler room.
How?
The heck did you do that for? You were supposed to check out the storage closet. You're not casting suspicion on me, are you? Me? No way. As far as Cass is concerned, everyone is innocent until proven otherwise. I investigated the storage closet with Kai. We didn't find anything
Anyway.
inside. Although we did hear someone run down the
Am
hallway.
I hearing you?
For real? Man, I'm lucky. All the work for nothing. What's the plan now? Do we just like go back outside? Let's check out how people next door are doing. Oh, they didn't play it again. Suddenly, I heard frantic footsteps echoing from the hallway outside.
Doubt it.
Weird. I don't remember any
It's the
footsteps.
truth.
I do.
Really?
Huh? Eva, did you really? I heard them while Grace and I were investigating the storage room next to
However-
yours. I just brushed it off as my imagination, though. Guess me and Jet must have been talking over them. Were those footsteps the reason you entered the boiler room, Damo? It's Damon, and yeah. They came from the direction of the room, so I wanted to see what person was
For
really
real?
from. Phooey, really? I would have just chased after the footsteps. I mean, entering the boiler room after something like that, you weren't scared a murderer was hiding inside? What I actually discovered wasn't much better. True, true. Then whose footsteps could those have been? I don't know why anyone would want to be running around those spooky hallways, let alone in the dark.
About?
Unless... Ooh! Maybe they were also looking for a backup
That's not
generator.
important.
I doubt it's that innocent. Considering the place this person ran away from was the crime scene, those footsteps were probably the killers. You mean fresh off committing the murder? Fresh off the murder. Or a bit after, depends what time we went downstairs. Either way, whether it was immediately after the murder or not, for a brief moment, the only thing separating us from Akira's killer were the storage room walls. That's creepy to think about. Thus, bit by bit, the mystery slowly unravels.
My genius
No need to
is
thank
almost
me,
frightening.
'tis all in a day's work. She didn't even do anything. Alright. So now I gotta check these.
Interesting.
The map says this is B.
Right.
The closet Cassidy and Jet explored.
Look.
You see that? Show up. Box in the corner. I turn over. What the hell? That's a safe.
Yeah.
I think I know what that is. A generator, right? The one you were referring to during the
Correct.
blackout? Yeah, exactly. Since I explored these rooms before, I knew one of them had a backup
That's-
generator. If this closet has the backup generator, wouldn't that mean the ones who restored the power? Well, if Cassidy and Jet were the only people who entered this room, then they're the people who brought it back. Damn. I'm surprised those two actually knew how to navigate a generator. That seems to be all there is to this closet. Do I have to go through each closet? I don't want to. I really don't. Alright, this is closet
Yeah.
A. Let's take a look around. As I inspect the shelves, the glint of something shiny caught my eye. Eva, look! There's a rolling pin here and handprints on it.
Strange.
What are you implying? That someone used this recently and not for its intended
I know.
purpose. Look, can you see how the handprints are on the base of the pin? You aren't rolling much dough if you're wielding this thing. Ah, they smack the shit out of them. The pin also really dusty. If it came from the kitchen, it would be clean like the other utensils there. Agreed. Not only that, there's a dent on the pin too. Really? On the end opposite of the handprints? Can you see it?
Weird.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Handprints and a dent. That's definitely not
Focus.
a coincidence. Could this pin have something to do with what mark we found on Akira's net? if it was used to knock him out, it would not only explain the dent on the pin, but the bruise on Wolfgang's neck. How did it make its way into this closet, though? What do you mean? How did the pin make its way into the closet after the killer used it? Oh, I mean, if the footsteps Kai and I heard were the killers, they probably chucked the pin in here on their way out.
Absolutely not.
No, that's not what happened. If the killer entered this closet and hid the rolling
Listen to
pin,
me.
Grace and I would have seen them. Crap, of course, she and Grace were investigating this closet. What if the killer placed the pin in here before any of us came downstairs? If they were out in the hallway, why didn't they use that as their chance to escape? Damn, she's right about that too. Could this rolling pin really be unrelated? But it lines up so well with the other evidence. Interesting. Alright, I don't think there's anything else in this room. Let's keep investigating. One moment she's speaking nonsense, the next she's totally coherent. I don't think I'll ever understand her. This is deep. Yeah, Mark and John explored this one. See what we can find. Is there anything weird about it? I think I see something behind the pile of boxes. I stood on my tippy toes to get a better look in. And so we're really here. What? Extension cords. A whole bunch of them.
Strange.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, these are definitely the same type of cord I saw in the boiler room. The only difference is, these still have their other half intact. The internal plugs are still pretty slim compared to the other kinds of cords. The fact these cords match the ones in the boiler means the killer must have rummaged through these closets for equipment. For what reason they needed the cord, I had no idea. But this is still a step in the right direction. Cool. Besides the box of cords, nothing else about this room is standing out to me.
Yeah,
let's move on. There very well could be two culprits, and if they do two culprits, like, right off the bat, that would be insane. This was the closet Kai and I explored. It was hard to get a good look at its contents in the dark, but seeing it now, there doesn't seem to be anything important here. I think we can move on. Alright. We've looked through all the closets now. Did you find anything you need? Yeah, I did. The rolling pin and the stack of extension cords, there's no doubting they're relevant to this case. At least, based on what I've investigated so far.
Anyway.
Eva, let's go upstairs and collect some testimonies. What do you mean? You said but you just Grr. Boo! God damn it.
Interesting.
Oh, that was
the hell?
Why would you do that? To see if you were nervous.
Seriously?
Of course I'm nervous. You were nervous
No.
earlier. Earlier, yeah, but not anymore. Anyway, you shouldn't be so nervous. If you're too nervous, you won't be able to think straight, so you should calm down. Easier said than done. Well, we've already investigated the really ugly stuff, right? You don't need to think about that stuff for now. Just focus on collecting people's testimonies. I can keep reminding you if you want. I'll be fine. Can I go upstairs now? Please? Did I not go through all the rooms? Yeah, I went through all the rooms. Why can't I leave? They're holding me hostage. Let me go. Free me. Unless there's something in the hallway that I'm missing. Oh! There's dried blood on the floor. For some reason, it seems to pool right out around this particular spot. Dried blood, like in the boiler room? You noticed the blood in there? I noticed you noticing it. So, who do you think left all this blood behind? Well, it can't be Akira. Considering the sort of injuries he sustained, it wouldn't make sense for him to have spilled a lot of blood. Which means the only possibility we're left with is the killer. The killer. Can I leave now? Hallelujah! We're free! The prison! The veil has been broken! Alright. As Eva and I emerged from the basement on the lookout for anything which could aid us in the investigation. Right in front of us, a flustered Eloise was huddled with her back to the wall. Standing next to her... Go! All hail Desmond! Might want to lower your voice around here. Some stuff has happened.
What could it be?
Snipple. Is something wrong? Sorry, Eloise had a bit of a frightening experience recently.
No kidding.
Well, yeah, the scene downstairs is bad, but I'm talking about something else. After Tozu left, we tried going inside Akiri's room to look for clues, but the moment we stepped in, she suddenly pounced on me. Huh? She dragged me out and Desmond ran after us. Huh? I haven't been able to get my heart to stop beating so quick since... Hold on, this she... Winona? Grace. What? She's been guarding Akiri's dorm ever since she kicked us out. What are they hiding? Were they getting freaky? Were they getting freaky? We can't let her bar us from entering the room. The class trial could start at any moment. That's why I tried telling everyone else, but they pretty much gave up. Jet and Mark went to the dining hall, Diana went to the laundry room, and Toshiko and Ingrid went to the courtyard. Eloise and I, though, we're not gonna let this slide. We gotta get inside that dorm room, so we've been brainstorming other ways to approach Grace.
This way.
And we've landed on something, performing a brief inquisition. If Grace doesn't want to cooperate, we'll start badgering her with questions, poke at her ego until it eventually retreats. If you want, you can join us. A debater must be good at dishing verbal beatdowns, yeah? I did come here to inspect Akiri's room, so I might as well. If that's the case, I'll go to the dining hall and ask Jet and Mark for their testimonies. You're not coming along? Grace isn't someone I'd like to be around right now. I mean, I don't blame you. I don't like Grace either. You three can handle her. Something tells me she's just afraid of her talent being mocked. No sweat. Have fun with Jet and Mark.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Eva left in the direction of the laundromat, clearly taking the long route to the dining hall. Should we approach Grace then? Yeah, let's not waste any time. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'll take the lead. I'll take the lead. I wasn't going to admit it to their faces, but their plan seemed pretty half-baked. Not because I was going to face off with Grace, but because she was too. How could a bumbling person like her be of any help in a verbal showdown? If anything, she'll probably make us look uncoordinated. Guess I'll have to do the most of the heavy lifting. Since Grace was guarding Kiri's room, we should probably head around the corner. Oh, I beeline! Beeline! Let me in the room. Don't you two yuppies get it? You're not coming in. Hang on, we're not here for that. Damon just wanted to ask you a question. He isn't coming in either. Why not? I need to investigate the room. Back off! His room is none of your business. Except it is. I have to search his last known whereabouts, which includes his dorm room.
See that?
What if I said I've done it for you? As in you've searched the room high and low. Want to know what I found? Nothing. For us to believe that, we need to see it ourselves. You think I'm lying? There's a chance it could be. Think about it. You haven't given us any reason to believe you. Someone who's got nothing to hide wouldn't be acting so protective. It gives the impression that there's something you really don't want us to see. Also, couldn't this be considered breaking the rules? Tozu wants us to be fair, but being prevented from searching every room doesn't seem very fair.
Don't test me.
Even if it isn't, what are you gonna do? I'll report it to Tozu.
You...
Makes sense.
Nice idea. Let's go look for him. If Tozu agrees this is sabotage, he might call Mara for help. It's not sabotage. I'm not hiding anything about the murder. Don't try to get me involved. Desmond never mentioned Akiri's murder.
Anyway.
Look, just let us in the room. If you're telling the truth, we'll drop our suspicions.
Gotta stay one step ahead.
The reality of the situation is, we gotta invade Akiri's privacy if we want to know what happened to him. We would want to investigate our dorms if it were anyone else who died. Grace stood there silently, gritting her teeth. Then she stepped away from the door. Sweet. Thanks. With sighs of relief, we entered Akiri's dorm. What do y'all got going on? Whoa, his room is crazy. While some of the expectations were correct, a lot about the room still surprised me. I anticipated the layout resembling my dorms and for reflecting his talent. What I didn't anticipate was how messy it was. Well, maybe not messy, just really casual. A room that clearly been well lived in.
Oi, you.
Oh, he's got a little teddy bear. Start with the sofa. Even the... My bad, I'm eating. Even the throw pillows seem to be arranged in just the right way. Cool. Alright, let's take a look at these clothes. Clothes were scattered across the room, including a familiar-looking woman's jacket. Nothing about them looks suspicious. A shirt on the floor? A shirt that matches the same color as hers? I don't know. A large toy bear adorned the bed. Something tells me this didn't belong in the room originally. Skimming the titles, most seem to be about the intricacies of the legal system. Although some were about old court cases, rehashed with new evidence. Did Akira really read any of these? Or were they all just for show? Alright, let me talk with you. We're not here for that,
Hi.
my ass. Hey. Normally she'd be meeting my eyes.
Quit it.
I know you suspect me. I could tell by the look on your face, but I don't know anything about his death. To be in the dark like everyone else about a person she was so close to? Damn it. Get a grip on yourself, Damon. Grace can claim to know nothing about the murder, but what about everything before? So I heard a rumor you became Akira's new bunk buddy. This room seems to confirm that. How was he in this morning? Grumpy? Happy? Sick? We were planning to go to the game tournament, but he woke up with an ache in his stomach. He woke up sick? If you're telling the truth and Akira planned to attend the tournament,
not it.
why did he say the opposite yesterday? Not sure if I have time. From what I remember, Akira said he'd be too busy to attend the tournament. More like he wanted another round at Pachinko machine.
Watch and learn.
I wouldn't know. I interrogated him after
No.
breakfast. What? That's seriously what he
Yeah,
meant?
okay.
Yeah, which was why I told him, hey, no, let's do the tournament. He was a bit finicky at first, typical for a soybean, but he eventually caved. He was a Pachinko player. Then again, some of the... in his room... I'm gonna try and pronounce it. Paraphernalia in this room looked neither golf nor law related. Alright, so based on what you're saying, Akira agreed to attend the tournament yesterday. However, come this morning, Akira remembered the pirate was attending, so he suggested I track down the guy and partner with him instead. Right, because you needed to bring a partner to the tournament. Akira, he knew I was miffed about it. His smile said as much. Akira said he was too sick to get out of bed, so I walked away. If Akira really had been bedridden, how did he wind up in the boiler room? Either he didn't come of his own volition, or he was never sick to begin with. By the look on my face, I could tell Grace realized the same. With all that said, it wasn't like Akira to hide anything. For a guy who's so gung-ho about honesty, you'd think he would confide in the person he's closest to. Did the letter I find inside his blazer pocket have something to do with it? While only a few words were legible, a lot could be gleaned from them. For example, the mention of a secret. Did the rest of the note elaborate on it? Or was the word alone enough to scare Wolfgang? Maybe he wanted to shield Grace from information he even couldn't handle. Or maybe he simply didn't want her to know. Whatever the reason, Wolfgang Akira deliberately hid information from someone. Ironic, huh? Interesting. What about you, Eloise? What's your testimony? Sorting through the ottoman.
Hi.
Can we talk?
Give me a moment.
Okay. She closed the ottoman and stood up, now wearing the same nervous expression she always did. Is something wrong? I want to know where you were about staring the murder what? Oh. When the murder happened, I was with Desmond in the courtyard. Courtyard? Yeah. You can ask Desmond to confirm if you're confused. No, it's fine.
Simple.
Let me just ask this. What were you doing during the blackout? Blackout? Yeah, you did experience it, right? No, I don't think there was ever a blackout. We were only alerted to the murder because of Tozu's announcement. So my theory was right. If Winona never experienced a blackout in the tree room, and Eloise never experienced a blackout in the courtyard, both those buildings must be connected to an entirely different power source. Fuck. It might not be Winona. Hold on. Yo. Wait. Hold on. This is bad. It is not looking good. It's not looking good. The only two people... Because... Let me think. Winona and Ulysses were together, right? Was that what was said? Yo, it's not looking good for Diana. No, please. 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 Yo, hold on. It's not looking good. Desmond, please say it isn't so. What's up,
Hi.
Damon? Hey, can you check something out
Easy
for me?
enough.
That's
In here
not
or
it.
in the boiler room? I found a taser gun
Are
in
you
there.
for real?
I can't tell if it's been fired or not. I don't think it has, but I want to know for sure because if I'm wrong and the taser gun was used, it might be a clue as to its
No
death.
kidding.
What we're talking about is that big of a
Yeah.
deal, huh? Yeah, since you're skilled at using guns,
All
I
good.
figured. No sweat. I'll see it once I'm down there. Thanks for the heads up. Well, that's all I could find. And see, brother, there didn't seem to be anything suspicious lying around. In any case, since I'm done here, I should head to the dining hall. I'm pretty sure that's where Aoife says she was going. Hold on, I gotta... No! I was gonna take a look at the calendar! As soon as I enter the room, Eva walked over to me. I've just finished talking to everyone here. Anything important?
Rage.
Nothing important. I don't think Jet and Mark were taking this seriously. This might end like a mock trial where only a couple people know what they're doing. Probably. Jet's not serious. Well, that information definitely didn't bode well for me. I couldn't afford to be discouraged by it. Not unless I want to die in this game. I'll see if I can make those two talk.
Thanks.
Good luck. Man, watch this. Hey, Desmond and Eloise told me you plan to investigate the dorm. Grace didn't guard it anymore, so you can go inside now. Let me guess, you don't want to investigate?
It's nothing.
I just came here to make sure my interface wasn't damaged. The investigation could spell the difference between life and death, yet his priority was his stupid music equipment? Hey, don't diss the music equipment. As a fellow music artist myself, don't diss the music equipment, alright? That is extremely disrespectful. Don't you think it looks suspicious what you're doing? Huh? I heard people are already giving Grace the side-eye for being uncooperative. What might they say if they find out you did the investigation? Yo, hold on. Jet called out from us from the other side of the room and ran over. Can't you see Broski isn't feeling well? Give the guy some
That's not
space.
important.
I do not care. I'm working on a time limit. Who are you to talk anyway? Judging by the look on Broski's face, whenever you guys are together,
It's simple.
out of everyone here, I think you know the least about personal space. What? No way! Really? Sure, Mark might not talk a whole lot, but if he wasn't having fun, do you really think we'd be hanging out so much?
always stick together.
Come on, back me up here. Time. Huh? What time did the murder
That's-
happen? 9:35? Check this. He pointed to a small digital clock on top of the music pack.
That's
9:35. This is the time of the murder. It was like this when I came back here. I think the clock got screwed over by the blackout. So now it's frozen on whatever it was displaying before it lost power. Then that confirms my suspicions. The blackout and by association, the destruction of the generator occurred at the same time of Akire's murder.
My man.
Nice going. You hit the jackpot. Bet it's cause I was here with you, huh? Jeez, this was getting hard to watch. Is it me or is there something funky about
Come
this
again.
place? I don't know, man. Everything feels off. I can't place why though, and it's bugging me. I guess I can't blame him. What the hell fell? Did something fall? With the turn things have taken, the tension and the excitement of the tournament was all but a distant memory. And this room was now a reminder of Wolfgang died right under our noses. Perchance. We can talk with Kai, see if you got something to say. Ah, shit. Why didn't Tozu fix the blackout himself? Is the maintenance of this place seriously our responsibility?
Not okay.
The fridge and pantry are restocked every day, though. Can't things just be consistent? Whining aside, he made a good point. Why didn't Tozu fix the blackout? Thinking back on his spiel from earlier, the tablet's information had been divulged in such a way that both the killer and the spotless have equal chance of success. Did Tozu abstain from fixing the blackout because it was important to the killer? They could easily make their escape if no one could see anything.
Wait.
Oh yeah, Damon, since you're here, I've been thinking really hard about those footsteps.
come
we heard.
again.
When we were in
No,
the closet?
seriously.
Yeah, they were soft, right? Like a person was wearing socks.
See.
Now that you mention it, it did sound like socks on the hard floor. Of all things to be right about, it has to be this. What do you mean?
Man.
I mean, why didn't the killer just wear shoes? Think about it. The sound of something like heels would be pretty distinct, right? Or what about sneakers? They get really squeaky on a smooth floor. And
Don't say that.
what I'm saying is, you could totally figure out the shoe from the sound it makes. And if you know what shoes the killer had on, you can just look for the person with a matching pair. The socks? Anyone can wear socks.
This sucks.
Just our luck. The first people to have a get together and they're interrupted by a murder. Thinking back on it, the game tournament and the murder happened really close to each other. The former began at 9 AM, while the latter occurred at 9:35. That's within the same hour. Taking another look, I can see the killer chose to attack so soon. 8 potential witnesses, all situated in one place, too preoccupied with video games to notice the world around them. There couldn't be a more perfect time to strike. Kitchen? Because the knife? Looking inside the cabinets, there didn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. Except the knife block had a missing knife. For a kitchen knife to go missing at the same time a knife is found floating in the boiler room's water, that can't be a coincidence. Shit. Oh my, would you look at the time? I dare say we ought to get this trial started soon. How does 20 minutes from now sound? Great? Great. Please continue to investigate until then. See you later. What? There's only 20 minutes?
Hang on.
Damon. Oh jeez, how does she keep scaring me? The investigation's almost over. We need to find the other 3 and hear their testimonies.
As I was saying,
Toshiko, Ingrid, and Diana.
Jeez.
Alright, calm down. Desmond said they were in the courtyard,
I'm
right?
talking.
Well, Diana's in the laundry room. Then let's talk to Diana first. Why is she in the laundry room? Bro, it is not looking good for Diana. Eva might deny it, but the anxiety which had been bubbling up inside her was clearly starting to boil over. Although, with how fast my own heart was beating, I guess she's not alone. It is not looking good for Diana. Why is she in the laundry room? She has to be confronted. What are you doing? If Desmond's telling the truth, then Diana should be in here. You got some explaining to do, young lady. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. She was standing over her back, pressed up against the wall, arms wrapped around herself in a tight embrace. She's in even worse shape than before. Man, I need to ask you a question. Please give me a moment. It's been kind of tough. The investigation is going to end really soon. We can't wait. Okay, my bad. Where were you during the blackout? Oh, the blackout, right before the body was discovered? I was just in my room, alone, doing my makeup. You don't have any makeup on, though. I was experimenting with new combinations, so I wiped it all off already. Interesting. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling up to it. Sorry, I'm feeling a little sick all of a sudden. Do you mind if I go back to my dorm?
So...
Do you think she was acting weird at all? No weirder than the others. Maybe testing I could cross her off my list for now, which means the only people I still need to speak to... Ingrid and Toshiko are still in the courtyard. We won't know until we see for ourselves. Alright, let's go. Hey, have either of you been investigating? Investigating? Toshiko lowered her fan to reveal a pair of puppy eyes. I don't know. What are you expecting me to do? To look for clues? Clues? How am I meant to do that? It's not like I've had to solve a murder before, you know. My hands have been a bit full, so no luck finding any clues. I can see why. Okay, well, did you at least notice anything suspicious this morning? It could have been a person acting odd, or a strange sound. That's what most real-life testimonies talk about anyway. Person acting odd. Maybe not at the time, but looking back, it definitely seems a little strange. You want to tell him, Toshiko? Okay, fine. This morning I saw Akira. When did you see him? In the dorm hallway on my way back from the pharmacy. Just as I was about to enter my room, I saw Akira leave his. Oh, Akira. What a coincidence running into each other like this. Are you already on your way to the tournament? It's rather early. Kaira. Is it Kaira? I'd say it's Kaira. Of course not. A professional like myself knows better to attend some silly party. Right, my apologies. What about you? Are you going to the tournament? That's correct. I'm going to the tournament. I'm just heading to the laundry room right now. There's a batch of clothes I accidentally left behind in there.
That's...
Said he was going to attend the tournament?
Strange.
Yesterday he told everyone he was too busy to attend. I assumed he changed his mind. I had no reason to question him. I heard bits and pieces of the conversation from inside my dorm. The only thing couldn't have lasted longer than a minute.
Bit complicated.
Toshiko and I are bunk buddies, by the way. Thought I'd mention that in case Damon doesn't know. Okay, thanks. Anyways, when I heard what Akira said, my first thought was leftover clothes? I don't remember any leftover clothes, but I figured I must have been misremembering, what with my aching head and all. I was suffering a terrible headache this morning. Couldn't even see 2 steps in front of me, let alone get up from my bed. That's why I had gone to the pharmacy. I was hoping to procure some medication for Ingrid. You know, Winona's testimony still doesn't line up for me. But it's still not looking good for Diana. I really hope it's not Diana, man.
So...
Oh, that's gonna suck.
How should I put it?
The conversation happened just a little after the morning announcement that I could tell you with confidence. Yeah, 10 past would make sense. When the announcement initially played, I was just about to leave the pharmacy. But she was already inside the pharmacy by 8. So, Kire, he looked totally fine when you saw him?
Sure.
Yeah, nothing seemed awry. Doesn't that call into question what Grace told me earlier? Either Grace lied about Akira calling in sick, or she was telling the truth. And Akira just outed it as a liar. I could probably deduce an answer if I know what time Grace left the room. If she left before 8:10 a.m., then she would have already been out the picture by the time Akira made his move. Hence why she only remembers him in bed. However, if she left after 8:10, then she wouldn't have been there for Akira's encounter with Toshiko, which means she lied about Akira being bedridden during the period of time she was in his dorm. Funny how she never gave me a time. What happened afterwards? The blackout sure gave us a spook. Toshiko and I decided to stay where we were until the lights turned on, though we did watch you and your buddies pass by.
How should I put it?
Heard it first, then took a peek. I would have said something, but I still wasn't feeling my usual self, so we watched you up until you all went down the stairs. That must have been how you found the crime scene, right?
Too much for me.
Such a terrible sight. Yeah, that's too detailed. That's too detailed. It's not them two. That's way too detailed. Yeah. Alright, everyone. That's time. Please drop whatever you're doing and proceed over to the Tree of Ignorance. Don't make me wait too long, otherwise you'll be in for a shocking surprise. I need to hear a Monokuma. Poo-hoo-hoo. That's all I need to hear, just once. Get it? Because your trinkets can zap you. Anyway, just get a move on. It's time.
Fingers crossed.
You two, go on ahead. Toshiko and I'll
Listen
catch
to
up.
me.
Alright, let's go, Damon. This is insane. Even I made the short trek to the room with the tree. Once there, we waited for the others to arrive. Eventually, everyone showed up. So how are y'all feeling? Words couldn't do it justice. I'm feeling bad. I can't tell you how I feel when I don't even know what I feel. Facts. Save the talking. Yo, why is Winona such an ass, bro? Like, you know, I hope you get killed next chapter. Jesus. She can't be nice for nothing. The trial. In just a few moments' time, we were going to be down there. Down there in the trial room. Fighting for survival. Using only our words. Damn it, Damon. Get a grip already. Before the door in the tree opens, I need to ask Desmond if he has any new information about the gun.
Hi.
Hey. Hey. His voice was steady, but his eyes kept darting around the room. Did you check the taser? Right, I did. Any findings? Just one. The gun's blast doors were missing. What? All of a sudden, the ground. Ah, no, not again. Hold on. Hold on to something. All right. I'm holding on to my chair. Woo. her attitude ain't it. The tree of knowledge, a symbol of sentience, intuition, and understanding, exists here only as a barren replica. The tree of ignorance emulates the wonder of nature, but does not achieve it. And justly so, for ignorance often aspires to be seen as wisdom. Damn it.
Shit.
Well, guess we gotta cut this conversation short. I'll explain everything during the trial. Let's not keep this goat guy waiting.
Holy!
Oh man. Like, zoink Scoob! This is really happening. We're so screwed. We're totally gonna die. Honestly, if they had a voice act, like every character, I could definitely hear Matthew Lillard voicing Guy. Look at it this way. Who here are the cards more stacked against? 14 people working together to solve a murder, or one person trying to lead everyone else astray? If anyone's in for a struggle, it ain't the group of 14.
Do you think?
You make a good point. Statistically, the odds are in our favor here.
It'll be okay.
Exactly. Luck will be on our
No,
side.
It's not.
If luck was on our side, we wouldn't be in a killing game to start with. Can I say something first before we
Oh.
go? What is it? It's a message for
What
the
did
killer.
you say?
The person here who killed Akira, whoever you are, can you please step forward? She's trying to pull the card. She's trying to pull this card, bro. She's trying to pull the innocent card, bro. Like she ain't the one who did it. Now I'm gonna protect Diana at all costs. But you can't just pull that card. She's been mad suspicious. Mad suspicious. We don't have to do this class trial. If you could just find it in yourself to step forward and bring this whole thing to an end already, then please. Despite Diana's pleas. Bro, this fat leaf, just, why? Why did it land on my face?
Come on.
If someone's determined enough to commit murder, they won't. If someone's determined enough to commit murder, they won't back down because one person pleads. Since we're on a subject, I also got a message for the killer. Don't forget the punishment fits the crime, asshole. Enjoy the fucking death penalty. Grace spat out those words and disappeared into the opening
Can
of
I
the
go
tree.
now?
Cosign.
Slow down.
Yo, wait up! One by one, people began to follow suit. It's time to go. We knew where the stairs would take us and where the elevator afterwards would deliver us, but everything beyond that was shrouded in uncertainty. There was no mock trial awaiting us, no foul murder designed to waste our time with a stupid mystery. This was undoubtedly real. Come on, Damon. Get a hold of yourself already. Taking a deep breath, I approached the opening in the tree and descended into the darkness. It was the same elevator, the same slow churning of metal and the echoing sounds of clunky machinery, and yet something was different. Someone was gone. Someone who I never held in high regard, but who was still a person nonetheless. A person with feelings, a person with aspirations, a person with a family, a person who I will never hear speak again. Not a single word. Am I ready for this? Was what I did during the investigation the best I could have done? Will it be enough to carry me through this trial? Will it be enough to lead me to Akira's killer? I won't know until I do it, until I face this trial head on. There's no way I can place my fate in the other people here. There's no way they'll come to the correct conclusion. Our survival depends on me. The elevator began to slow, snapping me back to reality. I adjusted my tie and stood up tall, and when movement stopped completely. The doors in front of us opened. End of chapter, guys. Alright, that's been fun. Oh my god, he is bugged. Somebody call an ambulance. I think I've caught a case of deja vu.
Isn't this lovely?
Pooh! It feels like only yesterday we were playing detective with the corpse of a crime scene. My, how Insouciant? Is that how you pronounce that word? Insouciant? My, how insouciant and chipper so many of you used to be.
How interesting.
After all that back and forth over a simple how done it mystery, I'm truly curious what today's trial will yield. Just to remind myself, our names are on the podiums, right? Eager to start, are we? Yes. To find your podium, just look for where your name is written. Come on now, hop to it. I'm so excited I can barely wait a second longer. I really don't want to do this.
Oh, crud.
We gotta do as he says though, otherwise that enforcer lady might you feel me? Knowing we were powerless to disobey Tozu, we began to disperse and locate our podiums.
Hey.
It's okay, everyone. If we work together, we can do
can't give
this.
up.
Right, guys? If we work together, we can solve the case. So come on, let's do it for Kirei. Although her words elicited nods from the other students, the expressions on their faces told a different story. It was an expression I couldn't help but feel conflicted over. In a moment where I shouldn't have been focusing on my feelings, and an expression of unmistakable fear. For days now, I've been angry over the mock trial. Angry at how much people resented me for telling the truth, how they twisted my words and assumed my intentions. I'm angry, but that didn't mean I wanted to be, right? I would have been happy for reality to prove me wrong, for no one to buckle under the pressure of the killing game. But good endings like that only exist in stories. Reality was apathetic to what we wanted, and the events of today proved we were at its mercy. So I stood there at my podium, conflicted. To think this tragedy could have been avoided had people just listened to me. But who was it that encouraged everyone to turn on me? Who was it that encouraged everyone to trust each other? If Akira hadn't been so naive, he just told people to protect themselves rather than each other, then maybe he would still be here. Regardless, I can't let myself be consumed by the what-ifs. Although the others may have failed at preventing Akira's murder, I, at the very least, can solve it. I'll uncover this killer. Let them face the consequences of their actions. I'll solve this case and survive.